introduce Ivan, our next speaker. Ivan is working on the third speech in the advanced manual, Persuasive Speaking. His project is called Winning Proposal. In this project, the speaker is asked to present a proposal advocating an idea or course of action which he would like the audience to approve. Ivan is organizing a small charity event, and he would like to enroll the audience in helping out Ukrainian refugees in his speech entitled Reaching Out. This speech is 5 to 7 minutes from time.
What of you, I'm sure all of you have heard of Ukraine. I know. Has anybody not heard of Ukraine by now? Have any of you have heard about refugees from Ukraine? Think of those. Did you ever heard about refugees running away from violence? And as I was sitting around here, and I'm from that part of the world, my heart was bleeding, and I was like thinking, like, what can I do? How can I help it out? And at one point, I started asking people around in my church, my community, neighborhood, and it seems to be that there was nothing going on. So I decided, well, I'm going to show some leadership and use my Toastmaster skills and start my own charity project and see where it takes me. So about a couple weeks ago, I contacted a charity coordinator in a border region of Ukraine and talked to them about their needs and what they want in the situation to understand really what's going on the ground. And my goal was to be able to help those people and show that we here also care about them. All of us care about these refugees, and from them I can envision that, like in Russia or Eastern Ukraine, they have horrible things going on, probably blaming everybody. They might be blaming us for what's happening to them, but I want to reach out to them and tell them we care about you and we really want to help. So that was my goal of my project, to show that Americans have very good people here and we really like to help everybody, and just to kind of counteract for to have any stereotypes they have over there, if they do or not. But after talking to them, I found out a lot of interesting things. For example, it turns out we have lots of refugees going through there. Just in the border region, there's like 40,000 people there living like permanently, and they have like 1,000 to like 4,000 crossing the border every day. That's just officially. Imagine there's this whole violence going on, so people they don't go. That's thousands of people going through the checkpoints. And the guy said, yeah, but like most people just go across the border. They don't care about going through the checkpoint. They just want to get out of there. And of course, if lovely Russian government, if you don't have an official paper that says you're a refugee, you're not getting any help. So most of those people who cross the border illegally, they basically end up not on a roll call or roll lists. So they don't get any help from government. They just kind of on their own, and just the local nonprofits have to help them out. And that's mostly their work that's what their charity there is concerned. They're not concerned with official refugees. Those guys get help with the government. But the unofficial refugees, or the people who don't have that right paperwork, or they don't have just a little sticker or something in their passport, they don't get anything. And those guys, the local charity there is very overwhelmed with refugees. They so overwhelmed, they even I said, do you want money? They're like, no, we don't want money. We don't have time to go buy things. Just send us stuff. It was like, wow. We don't have time to sort out through the things. We don't have time to go and buy money, go to some kind of shop and buy things on your money. We just want the stuff so we can give it out to people and address it. So it was, after talking to them a little more and more, I understood that there's actually a lot of kids for that refugees. They have really dire need for clothing, for children's shoes. And it is Russia, so it's going to get cold soon. So they really asking me to hey, can you organize something here and bring us send us some children's clothing, some children's shoes, some more of the winter stuff, because winter's going to be there pretty soon, and refugees. They are living in somewhere in villages, in a rural setting. They might be living in the tents, and they don't really have a heating set up properly or anything like that. So they really, especially for kids, they really need winter clothing, since those guys, they just grab whatever could go and just fled on their foot from the violence in Ukraine. So I'm working on organizing people to collect children's stuff, collect shoes, and put it all together and put it in a shipping container over to Ukraine. And I would like to enroll all of you to help me out, because with many hands, if all of us just contribute just a little bit, let's say a pair of shoes, one article of clothing, just doing that and enroll our friends, relatives, our community, just in no time we'll be able to pull it together and to be able to provide it. Maybe I think we'll have to collect a little bit of money to pay for the shipping container, but and I'll gladly talk to you about details of this and how to do it. And I'm learning this from scratch because I've never done it, but I really want to do this and show that I care, and we all care about those poor kids who, I don't know, living in the huts and on a cold ground somewhere in Russia, just because somebody decided to solve problems with violence instead of talking. Thank you very much.